for everything that they have done for me. I have friends that will not let me go through that poor, pitiful me stage. They keep me grounded. They make sure that uh, I'm doing good. And then I have my friends from Alabama State. I have James Rice, who is a Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated. His nickname was Skull. I think his line name was Light Bright. And he blessed me with his line name, and I came Light Bright too. He was going with a good friend of mine during the time, Karen Williams. And Karen Williams' aunt lived right there off of a campus. And we called her we called her we called her Aunt Sarge because Sarge didn't play. So with and then there's Faye. So when I got to state, uh, I did not know that the fraternity that you socialized with was the fraternity that you were supposed to pledge. But when I arrived at state, the first individual that welcomed me to state was a Sigma Phi Beta, or Phi Beta Sigma, Phi Beta Sigma, Melvin Tannehill. And I wish I could find Melvin because he meant a lot to me on my initial uh, uh, time at state. I became, Melvin welcomed me to state, and that's how I became associated with the Phi Beta Sigmas. I was in the Squires Club. I was vice president of the Squires Club, which is an interest club uh, for the Phi Beta Sigmas. And so Melvin took me under his wing, and I became a little brother. But during that time, I was active in SGA, and during the first 2 years, the SGA was ran by the AKAs, the Alpha Kappa Alphas, and the Alpha Phi Alphas. And so I became knowledgeable with those two fraternities. The Alphas, what is it? Lawrence Bell and Peanut uh, were Alphas, of course. And so uh, I went through, Sigmas asked me to have a look at the fraternity book and to find out who the first Alphas were. And I did that, and I researched and found that the initial Alphas were light bright, damn near white. And there was a stigma back then that uh, about the Alphas. But my dean was an AK. She was a boss list for the AK for the grad chapter. So all of that mixed together pretty much molded me into much more of an individual that I am now. And then I met Karen. Then I met James Rice, or Skull. His nickname was Skull. Then I met Faye, and they became a part of me. They became my family. Uh, I think that after Skull and Karen had quit dating, I think Karen started dating a football player. I think his name was Brody. And show you how everything is connected. I was mascot during that time and was having difficulties with the advisor of the cheerleaders because she didn't think that the mascot was supposed to be with the cheerleaders. So even though I was able to travel with them during this one time out of state, the cheerleaders uh, was not going to allow me to have a room. So it was Brody that allowed me to use his room, the football player's room, to take a nap before the game. So when you compare my high school days to my college days, those individuals played an important part, played an important development when it came to me as an individual. They allowed me to be me. They knew everything about me and still accepted me. They never allowed me to feel sorry for myself. They never allowed me to uh, get bigger or to become obnoxious more than I am. So I just wanted to take this time to give a shout out, give an acknowledgement, give a public proclamation that how much I appreciate Kenny, Jackie, Cynthia, James, Karen, and Faye, because I just appreciate y'all so much because y'all came at an important time that I needed a surrogate, that I needed a different type of relationship. We never had any type of jealousy between any of us. We were always supportive of everybody. Jackie retired, I think, from the federal government. She was she started as a state probation officer, and then she went to federal. And so we kept in. When I first started teaching, Jackie was up at Birmingham. She lived right around the corner from me, and she has two beautiful children, two beautiful young folks, uh, Jade and Cameron. And to see Kenny boys grow up, and to see Jade uh, children grow up, uh, it just means a lot. And then for their children to have the same respect and love for me that their parents do, well, then that's fantastic. So I wanted to take the first part of the show to let those individuals know how much I appreciate them, how much I appreciate their friendship, how much I appreciate them allowing me to be me and accepting me and not judging me. And that means the world to me. Sociologists have this thing that when individuals reach their late 50s and early 60s, you start collecting, and it sounds really morbid, but if you think about it, it's not really. By the time an individual reaches 50, your late 50s, your mid 50s, and early 60s, you create what we call the death ring. And it sounds morbid, but these are the individuals, whether it's your siblings or whether it's your friends. You gather these individuals together, and these are your circle. These are the individuals that you're going to die with. These are the individuals that have gone through everything in life, and you still have that bond with them. So it sounds morbid, but it's not. It's more of a sound, solid foundation. Now, sometimes it includes your siblings. If you have that relationship with your siblings become that circle. But it's those individuals that you have a special connection with. Now, as in every relationship, you're going to have certain boundaries. And with friends, your boundaries may extend much further than when it comes to your coworkers, or when it comes to your colleagues, or when it comes to your family. Now, I've never per se been extremely close to my family for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I knew that I was loved. I knew my place. I stayed in my place. I accepted my place. And I have that relationship with the few that I have remaining. When it comes to my friends, when it comes to Kenny, when it comes to Jackie, when it comes to Cynthia, when it comes to uh, James, a big papa as he wants to be called, uh, Karen Williams, and also Faye, they are the interchange. The foundation. So I appreciate them tremendously. Now, with forming this ring, this bond that you have, there are many benefits having a good friend. And with your good friend, you may share your joys, your emotions, and many more. You share your joys, your emotions, and many more. And it's like you found a person who acts like you, who thinks like you, and you can share everything with him or her. It's the advantages of having a good friend. One of the pros, you have an actual friendship. Having a good friend is great. It will make an authentic relationship between you and your friend. You can trust your friend. And one of the most important things this type of relationship is safety. Your good friend would always be with you in your happiness and with your sorrows. You are independent to be yourself because of your friend will accept you as you are. A good friend is just like a person who acts and thinks like you. It's one of the most positive things having a good friend. Arguments are easy to solve. You and your friends never want to argue with each other. You know that it can break the relationship. But in a good friend relationship, the arguments are few and it's easier to solve. They do not want to win rather than they try to understand the other side. They work together to resolve the argument for making a better relationship. You have someone who can take care about you. If you have a good friend, you have someone who has a good care of you. If you are ill, your good friend would definitely look after you. Your friend helps you in your sorrows, your bad days, and tries to stay with you all the time. If you fall in danger, your good friend definitely tries to get you over the danger, and it's a sign. You have someone that you can socialize with. You can go watch movies, having lunch, can travel, and so forth. You can have a good friendship to the other person if you have a good friend. He or she will not allow you to be, one of the cons is that, and I don't think we really have any cons per se in my relationships because we're pretty much solid in our relationship in that, but in some relationships, and see, this is where boundaries come up. Sometimes you're going to have a friendship that is going to be toxic. And I've been blessed in that my friendships have never reached that toxicity, in that everyone understands everyone and we accept everyone as everyone. We don't have any type of jealousy. And if someone comes to be friends with somebody else, well, then that's good. That's fine. So one of the cons that they were saying here is that having a good friend may limit your other friendship opportunities. We don't do that. If I befriend somebody else and I introduce them to Kenny or to Jackie or to Cynthia, well then that's cool. And my main thing is as long as if Jackie likes you, if Kenny likes you, if Cynthia likes you, if Karen likes you, well then you're cool. So it was saying here as a con, the benefit of having a good friend is that you feel so comfortable, and it should inspire you to want to find new friends. Another con is that you give more priority than your other friend. We never do that because again, in my relationships with my friends, we don't have that insecurity about having more priority to the other friend because we understand our place. And see, that's another thing, as in every relationship, when it comes to friendship, you understand your place in that relationship because it's a relationship. There are boundaries in that relationship. There are priorities in that relationship. So when it comes to my friends and all, we accept, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. As long as you're successful, I'm happy for your success. And I'm going to motivate you or try to motivate you and try to inspire you to be better because I'm always going to have your back. Another con they came up with, you may forget how to talk less. Talking less is a skill, but if you have a good friend, you can't talk less. But see, with my friends understand that I'm very peculiar. There's sometimes that I don't feel like talking, and my friends understand that. and they give me that time, they don't feel as if I'm neglecting our friendship. And they understand me. And see, that's one thing that I love about my friends is that they understand me, that I'm very peculiar. Sometimes I don't wish to talk, and there's nothing wrong with me. And they understand that. And they know my mannerisms, and they know that it has nothing to do with them. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just being me. So they I've been blessed in that we have that understanding. We know each other. We hardly ever argue. So, reading over these pros and cons kind of tickled me because I'm wondering what type of friendships are you talking about? And what is this comes from edgearticles.com, essay on friendship, advantages and disadvantages of friendship. Friendship is a basic nature of humans that makes them humane and of high integral value. And see, we have to remember that as humans, we need to have that bond. We need to have that touch. We need to have that sense of security. That's one reason as a teacher, I used to always hug my students. Now that the state of Alabama says you're not supposed to touch a student, I knew which student that I could that would accept the hug, and I knew their parents too. So see, in my friendships, we always hug each other. We don't think anything about it. Now, the advantages from this standpoint, they saying that friendship provides a reliance that acts as an alternative to the norm of fight or flight response to stress and disagreement. It provides a reality check every now and then, and believe me, my friends will check me in a heartbeat. Friendship provides a feeling of safety and belonging. Friendship is a stepping stone during hard times. Friends keep us on the right lane by telling stuff done wrong as they are. And see, that's one thing about my friends. They will tell me the truth. They're not yes people. They will correct me and check me in a heartbeat. And I appreciate them for doing that for me. And that's what type of friend that you need. You need somebody who is always going to have your back and always going to make sure that you're doing the best that you can. And if they see that something is wrong or you're about to do something wrong, they have no problem and say, "Hey, you need to check yourself. You need to watch what you're doing." So that's what we do. They give you a place in the world to be yourself without ridicule or scrutiny. Friendship is a form of entertainment in one's life. It boosts the interaction with others. It assists us in decision making, provides a platform of inspiration, gives us boldness when we feel shy or awkward about something, and is a source of networking. And it provides both social and financial support. It's a source of advice, and it boosts our self-esteem when they are around. That's what friendships, and I've been blessed in that. Uh, After all these years, we still have that bond. We still have that understanding. Now, they claim that some of the disadvantages is a chance of negative judgment should you not fit in. I've never experienced that. It's an avenue for bullying, ignorance, and hassle should fights occur because of the close knowledge of you. And see, that's another thing. You have to be aware of the individuals that you claim to be friends with. And you have to be bold enough, you have to be strong enough and conscientious enough to know that this relationship is toxic to you and that you're always the one giving and everybody else is taking. And if when you start having or when you start establishing those boundaries, your true friends are always going to remain close to you. And those who say, "Oh, so you become, oh, so you that." Okay. Well, then you know automatically that they were never there for you. And that's in any relationship that you have. There's boundaries. And your friends are going to understand that boundary. Because you cannot be a doormat when it comes to relationship. You cannot be a doormat. You cannot allow anyone to say or do anything to you that's going to cause you any type of hard feelings or hurt your feelings. And true friends are not going to hurt your feelings purposely. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're always going to be there with sound advice. And it has nothing to do with being jealous. It has nothing to do with, it's just that they're looking out for you. It's like a brother and a sister relationship. I don't think that we've ever had a depression. We've never been abandoned. Having too many friends waste your time. And see, that's another thing. We don't have too many friends. Our circle is very close, and it's very small. We never blame each other. Some friends are not loyal, hence they can betray. I've never been betrayed. And see that comes back to understanding. Because see, as you grow, listen, as you grow, you're going to have, and we use the word friend too common because everyone's not your friend. We there seems to be a negative stigma when we want to say associate, and you can have a close associate. Everyone that you went to school with was not your friend. Just because you had classes with them was not your friend. You were associates or you were classmates, and a classmate is similar to having a coworker or to be what is it? Yeah, coworker. Because see, once you work in a profession, you have colleagues, and I didn't have very many colleagues. I had mostly 98% of the individuals that I worked with were coworkers. And it is what it is. I didn't claim them as friends. My circle is very small for a reason. Now, Kenny has his friends in Montgomery. Jackie has her friends in Montgomery. Cynthia has her friends in Macon. And that's all. It does not subtract from my relationship with them. I know my place when it comes to those individuals. I feel secure with those individuals. So see, when you go through elementary school, you're going to have a certain circle of individuals. And then once you go to junior high school, with those individuals that you went through elementary school with may not follow you to junior high school, so they're going to drop off. Then you're going to have a circle of friends that's in junior high school. Then you're going to go to high school. And then those same individuals may follow you to high school, but your relationship is going to change because it's a different environment. Different dynamics are involved. And then those individuals that were friends or associates with you in high school, once you go off and you go to college, you're going to still have some individuals that are going to be there for you. And it's just a way of life. Everyone can't go with you. Everyone can't follow you. Because as you grow, you become separated. And some people cannot take that separation or cannot take that you're being more successful than they are. And see, that's where true friendship comes in. A true friend is going to appreciate you being successful, and they're going to be there when you are successful, motivating you. They're happy for your success, not jealous of your success. So see, these are the individuals that have stuck with me. They know the ins and outs of me. They know everything about me. I don't have to explain anything to them because they know me. Now, I might do some things that are like, ooh, whoa. but I've been blessed. But that's a way of life. The same way with your relatives. There's certain relatives that you're closer to than others. And when you really compare your relatives, your relationship with your relatives, it pretty much gives you a blueprint when it comes to the world, because there's certain individuals in your family that you wouldn't even socialize with, which is a replica or a mirror of some individuals outside that you wouldn't have. I don't like all my relatives. Never have. Never will. There's only one that's remaining, and that's my aunt, my mom's younger sister. She's the only one that's left out of my immediate family. Now there's Sue, who is my great grandmother's, my great aunt's daughter. Now I'm close to her, or I keep in touch with her with Facebook. Dee Dee is another cousin. Because you can't be friends with everybody. Everyone's not going to accept you for being you. And we have to come to that realization that you can't be friends with everybody. And now you have these social platforms that are out there. And now you have these social bullies. And they're miserable individuals. They're unhappy individuals. And so there's a form of friendship that is created because of the connection. And at times, some of the social media friends do get together and they realize that we are friends. And then sometimes they realize that we're not. We can socialize here, but as for socializing in public or face to face, for whatever reason. And I think because of the social media that has taken the social ability to interact away. Because as humans, we have to have that equipment to be able to relate, to be able to communicate. Because, see, I can be anybody and anything on social media. I can claim and paint this picture of an individual that I wish that I was or were or was, and it's not true. Now, most of the creators are actual individuals. They're truthful. What you see is what you're going to see in person. At times, there are individuals who are not that transparent. And they serve as vultures because they're unhappy. And because of them unhappy, they feel comfortable doing all this travesty, this malice, this maliciousness, because they secure. But in all actuality, they wouldn't do that in public. So I think that when it comes to friendship, I think that it should be the responsibility of the parents to have their children to be a part of a group or part of an organization to where they have that interrelationship back and forth, whether it's dance, whether it's sports, whether it's church or whatever. But I think that you should teach your child to know how to communicate in person, to have that personal relationship back and forth. Cousins are fantastic. Having cousins and being raised with cousins are fantastic. But you're limited only in that circle and you're not really learning. You're not really expanding. So to have a larger understanding or larger dynamics I think that a child should have an avenue of being allowed to see other people, to see other kids, to understand things instead of being limited. COVID didn't help. Again, COVID comes up. COVID didn't help because COVID stopped a lot of transactions. Social media is a fantastic tool that you can use, that you can enlarge your territory, but at the same time, it should be limited to the point that you should be aware that these individuals are living in other cities or in other countries, and you should have a network of individuals that you're able to connect with easier. Friendship, to maintain a friendship is just like with any other relationship. You have to understand your place. And at times, sometimes it's best that you part as friends. And it's nobody's fault. You've just outgrown whatever. See, that's what it's happening when it comes to high school. As you know, as homies, you did certain things together, but you've grown and you have experienced things differently than what your homies have, and you're no longer homies. There what you're no longer. And then that's where the jealousy comes in. We have several examples of rappers, of musicians that because of jealousy, they've gone back to their communities. And because of that jealousy, people act out. And when it comes to relationships, when it comes to friendship, and you feel that there's jealousy becoming created, then it's time to take a step back and to examine your position, your place in that relationship. Friendship is similar to a marriage, it's a give and take. A relationship is sort of like a marriage, it's a give and take. And I've been blessed. I have been divinely blessed to have individuals in my life that I know that I can count on, that I know that if I ever need them, they're going to be there for me. So, but understand that friendship is just like any other relationship. It's a give and take. It's understanding your position in that relationship. And if by chance you grow and you see things in a different, then sometimes it's best that you just back away and just know when to say it's time to end. Because like it just friendships is just like season. You have some that come and go, time and place. You served your time, you served your place. Now it's time to go. It has nothing to do. It's just that time. You've served your purpose, whatever that purpose may be. It may be that they entered your life because you were at a time to where there was something that you needed to learn, or you needed to get a better grip on to make you stronger. And it's nothing wrong with outgrowing a friendship. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with doing you, being you, taking care of you. So, there it is all in a nutshell. Relationships are relationships. Give and take. Know your place. Stay in your place. Accept your place. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Had my 1186 water. If you have not done so, please check out 1186. Please check out 1186. Artesian water here in Alabama can ship anywhere. So check them out on Facebook, 1186. Also, check out Alicia's Coffee. Alicia's Coffee, ALICIA Coffee LLC. And again, if you have not done so, please like, follow, share, subscribe to Smash Bros Radio. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. As for me, OZZz, your Dutch uncle, you can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also YouTube. Like, follow, share. Please download our app. Know your value. Know your worth. Know that you are the one that controls everything about you. And most importantly, know that I love you more than I love my luggage. I will see you Tuesday, tomorrow. Y'all take care. Have a good Monday. The live stream on the show. On the show. The live stream. On the show. The live stream. The live stream on the show.